Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to FOF. It is the Lunar Division, and it is day 6, and we have skill-based
Oh
versus H
boy.
block. Oh, I know, I'm excited too. I'm joined by Anti, and how you doing today, man?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. We had a fun show match, and now we're getting an interesting game on the board.
Absolutely. I'm contractually obligated to never discuss show matches, so we're going to pretend like that didn't happen. As we now have Theocles returning. He's in the mid lane today. How do you think he's going to do, kind of going away from his usual lane, which is bot, right?
No, Thero's actually been the main mid laner for skill based. Zishan has been the consistent bot lane for skill based.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Well, he did transition to mid from this season, correct?
I believe so. I remember him playing more jungle and bot lane beforehand. But Therocles has generally been relatively solid. I think that Zishan mechanically is one of the better AD carries in the league. It's just that sometimes Zishan tends to get a little bit too trigger happy. So now that he's on Ezreal, we could see that, safety on that AD carry really working out for them. Or we could see some Jackie loves, just Ian directly into the enemy team. I'm hoping for some safe, good Ezreal play. I want more Teddy, not more Jackie.
Of course, if we get some Teddy gameplay, that's going on the highlight channel. But at least, what I really like about these two teams is we have a newer team in skill based, new team H Black, who they've been around for quite a while. Prolupo's been,
Absolutely.
and he's been support now. He's been jungling. This guy has been the rock of the team. And then you have H Black, who I believe that was a name change, and he is now going to be in the mid lane, who also is the team name. So it's been really fantastic to see the development of these teams, especially how there's been so much improvement over the league so far.
And one of the things that's interesting about H Block is that all of their players play a plethora of different champions and roles. So even though this is what we have it set as, they might not necessarily be in these roles. We've seen Floral and Prolupo taking most of bot lane, but on skill base, we're going to see the Ahri pick, which gets through, and Thero has been spamming a lot of Ahri mid. So we got the Volibear, the Ahri, and those are two of the most comfortable picks for skill base here, and Ornn on top of that, so I'm excited to see how this goes. The Lulu is not something I've seen that is not something I'd expect to see with the Ezreal, but we'll have to see how it works out on the Rift.
Yeah, Lulu does get a lot of value. Polymorph is going to be big here. It's really good against Echo and Camille and Vayne for that matter, and also actually LeBlanc also if you can get her before she can distortion back, but. Yeah, I do like the pick, but also we're seeing a really old classic matchup, Season 3. Anyone, for all of the people who've been around that long, Ahri versus LeBlanc used to be a staple. You used to see this almost every game, and it's very, very skill intensive. So I'm really happy to see it be coming back in FOF. And these are two very talented mid lane players, so this could easily be what swings the game.
Absolutely. Now, one of the big things about LeBlanc here is that LeBlanc is one of the best champions of the game at setting up ganks, and Ahri is one of the better champions in the game at denying ganks. So once we hit 6, we're going to see some really interesting stuff. Oh, Fridge?
Oh, here comes the flash, and that's going to be for Lupo getting the hook down, and the flash is going to come away from the Volibear. A lot of aggression early, and some summoners being burned. It's generally a support for jungle trade doesn't get that much value because the jungle is not going to be fighting early. But yeah, really aggressive for Lupo. I like the killer instinct.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that they're trying new things. I think H-Block is one of the teams that we've seen with the different types of invades repeatedly throughout the season so far. And we're going to see some interesting stuff going in. And I believe this is a different top laner from what we've usually seen from skill-based. I'm not sure if Mr. Turbo got a name change or if that is a new top laner. But if it is a new top laner, this is the first time we're seeing Royshell on skill base, I believe.
Yes, Mr. Roy Shagul up in the top lane, taking a tank. So not really if that is a name change or if that is just Mr. Tobo, a new top laner. Not going to show too much early with Ornn being quite uninteractive early game, especially into a critical matchup.
Yeah, and right now we're going for a standard start despite the spicy beginning. And yeah, the teams are just going to farm up. Nothing too different right now.
Yeah, let's see if there's any pathing decisions that we see make. So the
Oh,
hook's actually going to land from Pro Lupo, so that's going to be a bit of damage, but nothing too far that's going to come onto this Lulu. She does have the shields, and she was able to get that out quite quickly. But yeah, really good hook accuracy so far for coming out from Pro Lupo.
And one of the interesting things here is that while that was a good trade from Floral onto Kevin, Floral took a lot of damage in response, and Zishan was sitting by full health. And Lulu has 2 health pots, so honestly not that big of a deal for them. And
Another
gonna
hook landing
hook.
from Pro Lupo. Kevin's going to be in trouble. That is a stun landing, and there's a bunch of damage. The flash is going to come out, and the ignite is going to drop him. The kill being put over into this bot lane, level 2 2v2.
Right, and that's an early kill going over to Floral. Oh, actually over to Pro Lupul. And HBlock is going to see if they can snowball this through the bot lane.
Yeah,
And
the ignite
crucially,
burned him down. Kevin got hit by multiple hooks on the side of that. So it's kind of Nautilus hook is more difficult to dodge. It is a very thick hitbox. So this Lulu's gonna need to play a lot more safer. She's gonna pretend not get into any more trouble now that that flash is burned.
And while the Ignite is down, the Exhaust and the Heal are still up on the side of skill base. So we could see an interesting 2v2 coming back into things. Maybe Fridge paths down, get something fun from the jungle.
Yeah, Rochelle taking a bunch of damage in his top lane. He's going to be diveable if the Echo is going to choose to go that way, but it just is not going to be looking. But that's going to be another hook. Pro Lupo is just massively landing every hook, but so much damage comes back down onto this Nautilus if Ezreal is able to just E away for free. So it looks like the trade came out quite even, and that should be the angle that Kevin and Zishan should be looking to play in this lane. Is it Zishan?
Zishan.
Zishan. Oh, I like it spicy.
Yeah. Honestly, one of the interesting things here is that Fridge gonna path right up into the top lane.
Yep, just gonna be in trouble. That's gonna be the hook shot buffer, so there's nothing that's gonna be coming out. That interaction is so annoying to watch. Even if your stun, it still drags you out.
Yeah, and Echo going to respond with a gank on the bot side. I think Pro Lupul's looking to go on Kevin here.
Yeah, but that's a bunch of damage already being taken. You see the way this matchup can go if the is safe and is able to provide proper utility for this Ezreal.
Good charm
by Feecles, a bunch of damage onto HBlock.
Yeah, and HBlock gonna get some damage back onto Thero here. But HBlock has the Ignite, Thero has the TP, so if Thero goes for a tough trade without actually dying, he can absolutely just use the TP as a combat sum, TP back to lane, and force HBlock to be in a really bad position here.
Yep, absolutely. Fridge making a good decision, allowing Theracles to get a safe push in. He's going to reset this wave, get it all the way into the tower, and he's going to get a very, very safe back. Not going to even have to use the teleport. So it's kind of on Idris now to find another angle into this game. I know this bot side is going to be the pressure point for the side of HBlock, but it's very difficult to kill a Lulu Ezreal, especially once they get into a safe, secure lane state such like this.
Especially since Ezreal has opted to start with the Cult. So they've already communicated that I don't want to fight, I just want to scale up, we don't have to trade, but they're actually doing not half bad in these trades, and Floral and Pro Lupul are much lower health than Kevin and Zishan at this point.
Yeah, that Pro Lupul needs to be careful. There's so much return damage that can come out, especially if Lulu is not the one who gets hooked. The poly will just come out into the vein, and he'll take a bunch of damage in turn. But it looks like he's still looking for angles. He's kind of hooking out in the raw, doing some alcove gaming, but he is spotted.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Pro Lupul walking up.
Oh no, this is a bunch of damage. The hook is not going to land, and the stun is also not going to be available for the Echo, so they are going to know he is on this bot side. Idris has been on this bot side for quite a while. He's going to need to be looking to path into that top side direction, but it looks like he's going to hit the dragon and go and start that up with the priority he has.
And I'm liking this so far. We're seeing a bit more of that like Teddy style gameplay, nothing too crazy from the bot side. Sure, you gave up 1 kill on the Lulu, but you're not losing out in farm too hard, and you're slowly scaling up on this Ezreal. Oh, Pro Lupul gonna get
another hook, but Fridge is there by himself. You are all by yourself, man. He's gonna be forced to flash. That flash just came back up, and he's gonna be forced to use it instantly. As now, Theracles is gonna be taking a bunch of damage from HBlock, but he's not gonna be forced to use the Spirit Rush away. So not much suffering on the back end, as he still has the teleport to get back into lane.
And Thero not opting to teleport to back
This
and
is this
teleport.
bot lane getting caught out. 3 people are going to be available. Flashes are up. They're going to need to use these very strategically if they're not going to die. Kevin's going to be forced to flash away. Teleport is coming through. The commitment is still there. Kevin's going to be hooked up, but a bunch of damage is now coming up to Pro Lupo, and he's going to be the first one to drop. Royshao has picked it up. Now you have the follow teleport from Jida, who's going to be a little late, is going to prevent anything further, but very well done on the side. On the side of Zishan and Kevin, dodging that gank and preventing anything further from happening.
Yeah, and those are those summoners coming in clutch that we mentioned earlier. They didn't use it in the earlier kill, and because of that, they were able to get out quite cleanly. And they're all gonna keep on holding on in mid. Doesn't need a back just yet. Continues to have that teleport advantage over H-Block here. And while Royshao teleported down and didn't have the mana to ulti, Royshao getting a much needed reprieve in that top lane.
Yeah, he had been suffering quite a bit in CS, but the lane states are not in his benefit. So very smart on the side of skill, going to be sending up their bot lane to get some tower plating and some extra damage done in a safer environment. And Borshao is kind of already at the point on this one where he can just 2v1 under the tower quite safely. So I do like this decision. It definitely look like they're trying to pressure for this next Rift Hero spawn, but Theriocles is going to need to base if they're going to be looking for that angle.
Now, I love this a lot. One of the big complaints that I had about skill base in last week's match is that they weren't looking for objectives enough. And the way how they've lane swapped here tells me that they've shifted their focus over to objectives by quite a bit. If you're swapping your bot lane to top so that way you're going to have Rift Herald priority, then that already tells me you're doing a better job than sitting bot lane with 10 minutes of bot pressure and not getting dragoned.
Yeah, and they are poking down this tower quite effectively. Just getting taken down a little bit, but now Proplupo is going to be available, and that's going to be the hookshot landing. The wall dive is not going to get the stun onto Kevin or to Zishan, so that is a little bit of resources used for nothing, as Vayne is going to get some solo XP onto this bot side. So all in all, it is going to be going slightly into H-Block's favor if Vayne continues to get this solo XP and farm.
But at the same time, Lucky Fridge is starting up that Herald and continuing to push that down. They're getting these plates, they're getting this gold, and it's looking pretty good for skill-based here.
Yeah, I like how the camera zoomed over and just to see him miss the cannon, but now that's going to be the hookshot landing. A bunch of damage onto this shot. He's going to be trying to tank up as much as he can. Jida is going to be looking. The flash out is going to be available, but now for the flash on by Fridge, Proplupo is going to be in trouble as he's going to be forced to walk away. The stun Echo is going to be in. He's going to pick up Zishan on the backside. The fight continue as Fridge is going to be forced to walk away with the ultimate, but he is going to get stunned, and that's a lot of damage following up. His interest is really going, but he's going to get stunned at the tower. He's going to need to be concerned, forced to ult back away. So really aggressive on the side of H-Block, but they did manage to pick up a kill and punish this Ezreal for being so far up in the lane.
Yeah, it was looking so good for skill base, but unfortunately Kevin sitting at level 5, not able to get the ulti off to save Ezreal, not able to heal as effectively as we'd like to see from Lulu at this point in the game. And it's just a few things that just barely go wrong for skill base. But the snowball hasn't quite started yet, and we still have Herald on the board.
Absolutely. They did manage to pick up that Herald, so that is going to be an advantage going to own. As I said, Theriocles is going to land the charm, but not that much follow damage is going to be provided, as H-Block is going to get a very good trade onto the side of this Ahri. And Spirit Brush is going to be available, so that H-Block is going to need to be very concerned, as Fridge is going to be there to pressure him off the wave.
Yes, and Royshao going up a little too far, going to get caught out here.
Landing. Royshao is going to be in a lot of trouble. He's going to be forced to flash out, but the knockup is there. Everything's going, and he's going to be dropping as Floro is going to be picking up that kill. Beautiful hook from the side of Proplupo, preventing that dash out.
Yeah, honestly, amazing amount of CC layering from H-Block there. They knew what they had to do, they knew when they had to do it, and they executed beautifully.
Yeah, the heat-seeking hooks have been here as Proplupo is continuing to make play after play. And honestly, that's what you expect from your support, but he's been helping multiple lanes, only 2 assists, but the pressure he's gotten down has been extremely effective for Skill Block to execute their game plan with the objectives that they managed to take. The flash going to come in, H-Block is going to find it, and a solo bolo is coming out as Theriocles is going to take so much damage from this blow.
Yeah, and that's that Ignite coming in clutch for H-Block there. Knew exactly how much damage they could pump out and absolutely demolish Theriocles in order to prove a point there.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like this bot lane has stayed in this top side a little bit too long. They should have looked to rotate back down to the bot side because this Dragon's going to be available because they're going to be sieging the second Drake over. The Ezreal is going to come across, but it looks like it's a little bit in the same, so it's not going to even hit the Dragon anyway. But yeah, a little bit of a misexecution unless their whole plan was to give over that second Drake and try to get as much power plating as they can.
And one of the things that interested me was Lucky Fridge was in the top lane in a prime position to.
Oh, here you go. That's going to be a power shot landing, but the ultimate just going to be exhausted, so he's going to be forced to flash away. A 2v1 kill he's looking to find, but now Royal is here, and the ultimate is going to be available, but the knockup is also there, so they are taking a bunch of damage, but the hook shot's going to come up just in time. Now Royal is going to be under the tower, and everybody's converging. The hook is going to land onto Royal. He's going to be the first one to drop, and the Lulu is not going to find us. She's going to find himself in the Destiny as Kevin is going to be down. HBlock is going to be looking for Zashan as he does not have Arcane Shift available just yet. He's going to find it just so as the ultimate is going to cancel from Pro Lupo. He just barely got out of range before the final click happened, so that's going to be Zashan making out just by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, just a few frames difference means the Zishan gets away with his life.
Yeah, absolutely. The Herald was dropped into this mid lane, so that's going to be a bunch of load picked up on the side of Theracles and one Lucky Fridge. So they did manage to get a little bit of pressure back, but they did not take the tower. So that gold influx is not going to be available to them just yet, and it looks like HBlock is continuously finding advantages in these fights.
Yeah, and one of the things I kind of want to point out earlier is that unfortunately it seems like skill base isn't quite on the same page. Oh. Good trading going on in that mid lane. It's looking real scary there. But unfortunately, it seemed like Skillbase weren't quite on the same page because they had a good opportunity to go for Jita. And once they saw the teleport, they started backing off as if it was from the enemy team. So I'm not sure if they realized that it was Royal or if they had called off the play. But just need some communication here, and Zishan being engaged on.
Zishan's going to be caught out, but Kevin is going to be the one who's going to be in the mass troubles. He's going to get contended into the wall. The ultimate is going to go onto Zishan, so he's really trying to get the damage out, hoping that he can turn it by himself. As a bunch of damage, the Qs are landing, but the Lulu probably should have used that on himself. As now Zishan's going to get hooked up, the ultimate's going to be available, and that's going to knock up both the Lucky Fridge and Zishan, as he's going to be forced to arc and shift away. And this bot lane is just performing immaculately as they're continually finding advantage in this too.
HBlock is absolutely doing an amazing job, and while this trade looks not that great for Jita,
and the knockup is going to land, but the brittle is there. But the second counter of the Q is now one Lucky Fridge is going to be forced to ult off. This LeBlanc is too strong, and they're just going to be sitting onto the tower with 4 bodies coming. So this could easily be a tower dive setup, as it looks like the wave is going to be clear just in time to prevent that from happening.
Oh, Royal?
Yeah, but he's going to get knocked up, and that second Q would take him out, so he's going to be forced to walk away. But good trading on the side of Royal. He does have more resources available with the Ornn passive, so getting good trades like that can be quite effective if he's able to build an item.
And one of the interesting things we see here, we're seeing the Frostfire being picked up by Lucky Fridge, who just wants to be as tanky as possible for his team. Theracles going in on Jita here.
There's no flash available on Jita, so this should easily be a kill. Beautiful charm landing as Theracles is going to land all the damage, but that's going to be the shield coming out, as now the autos are going to be putting in. Royal is going to be the one who picks it up. But good roam on the side of Theracles picking up a kill, but he's going to lose a bunch of damage onto that mid tower with LeBlanc kind of wailing away at it.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you're quite a bit of gold behind. You kind of want to make something happen. I like the idea of the roam here. And bottom lane has been staying top for quite a long time. They're going to have the prio on this Herald.
Drizzt is going to get polymorphs, and he's going to be forced to ult out available pretty soon. But there's not enough damage is coming through. The Qs aren't landing, so one Lucky Fridge is going to be forced to flash out as a bunch of damage has been taken on his end. Idris is trying to get as much damage out as he can, but Zishan is behind his ranges quite well. The charm is not yet used from Theracles, but this fight is not going to be going to his favor as Royal is extremely far away. And Pro Lupo is just going to be zoning, and that's going to be the second Herald picked up, but the Q is going to be going. Pro Lupo is going to be going. The ultimate is going to land onto Kevin, and a bunch of damage onto the Fridge, who's going to be dropping first. Now the ultimate has dropped Idris back, but now you have Camille on the back line. He's going to lock up for Shao, who's taking a bunch of damage, and Vayne is going to pick up that one. And that is the force to scatter, as HBlock has gotten 2 kills and the Herald.
And unfortunately, for skill base, having that early prio didn't mean enough when Pro Lupo comes in with a massive 3-man depth charge. Like, what an ultimate.
Yep. Good ultimate uses. The Herald's dropping is going to get the tower damage down. So that is a bunch of gold being picked up from the side of HBlock. 5,000 ahead already.
All right, and one of the big things that we're going to be looking for here is that while Roychelle has been doing a good job of equalizing Jita in the side lanes, this Camille is continually going to scale up, and I don't know if Ornn, or anyone for that matter, is going to be able to equalize against this Camille. So if HBlock just go to a 1-4 split comp,
here's going to be the
right
fight, and that's going to be the jump in. The smite is going to go to Idris. So one leg for is going to find himself in the grave, looking for the steal, but did not find it. And third Drake is going to go over to HBlock. As now Pro Lupo's kind of looking for a hook that won't land, as Zeshan trying to get as much damage out as he can. And this has not been going into the favor of skill. They just haven't been able to get any advantages from the trades and the kills that they did pick up early.
All right, and right now we're just going to continue to see that farm up in the mid lane. Ezreal is going to scale up, but Vayne, once again, one of the quintessential AD carries when you're talking about late game hyper carries. And she is still going to be pumping out so much damage. Does not matter how much armor you got.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's at the point in the game where it's basically going to be completely uncontested in these fights. There's no one who can take more than a couple autos from her at this point. So Vayne, who can free hit constantly, is not a good sign for your tank's longevity. And Ornn and a Volibear will not last long in that type of environment.
And hopefully we can see a Frozen Heart on one of these champions sometime soon, because there's really no other way to deal with Vayne's attacks at that point. Yeah, especially with the Rage Blade on the board for Floral at this point. Now we're going to have the Rage Blade and the Kraken Slayer on top of Vayne's Silver Bolts, and that's so much true down just being constantly pumped out.
Absolutely, the Silver Bolts will be putting in work. But now that we are kind of at a lost state, 3 minutes until Soul, nothing really to fight for because Parent isn't even available. What do you think about how the FOF League has been going on so far, with how the skill of these teams have been improving? Who's your top team right now? H-Block takes a bunch of damage. Wow. He should be fine. He does still have the W. He's actually going to be forced to dodge that ultimate, but yeah, a bunch of damage taken on H-Block.
Yeah, nice call, Juke. Top teams. I think that as far as Luna goes, BBZ and H-Block.
H-Block is gonna die. There's no way that Zeshan. Okay, so we weren't able to find him. Didn't really guess right on the direction he was walking at. A really interesting shift forward, trying to get some autos onto the tower. I don't think she thought she could take it, but that's some aggressiveness from Flame right there.
Maybe with the minions there.
And Heracles is going to be in trouble, getting converged on by 3, forced to flash out, and H-Block is managing to find plays all over the map, using their map pressure to find these angles.
Yeah, but, you know, they're looking for this dragon. Baron's coming up in 5. Dragon's not coming up for another 2 minutes, but Ocean Soul is going to be absolutely devastating. And if we're going to go back to the previous point, I think that as far as Luna goes, BBZ and UB are 2 of the best teams in the league very consistently. H-Block is definitely up there. I think that there's still a few times where if they're getting behind, it can look a little shaky. But, you know, they absolutely know how to close out games. Church of Alfonso is a bit of a wild card. I think I need to see more games from them. As far as Helios goes, my first thoughts go to Rex, INT, and RLS. For the top 3 teams. TG is also definitely a good contender. And we've got an interesting amount of competition this season. Usually you see a bigger gap, I'd say, in player skill between the top teams and the bottom teams. But I think it's more even all around.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be really interesting to see when we finally see some inter-group play and how these other teams are going to match up. How is Luna going to match up with Helios? As Pro Lupo is going to look for the hook, and he is going to land onto Kevin. A bunch of damage onto this Lulu, who's going to be forced to flash away. Idris is quite far, but the dash is going to be available, but the ultimate is going to be there for Lulu, and a bunch of damage onto Zeshan, who's going to be able to trade back, at least at the moment. I cannot see because these three.
I can certainly hear. I'm thinking that we're getting... Oh, wow. Jita gonna get a kill on Lucky Fridge, but Zishan gonna pick that up, get a decent amount of gold back into that Ezreal, and we're gonna keep on seeing this Ezreal scale up. And the question is, how much damage is he going to be able to do?
Guys, my mic is picking you guys up. Can you do this?
Yeah, so we're going to see a big fight for the Dragon in just a bit, and Jita's not online, but Bridge, on the other hand, is also not alive on the side of skill base. So there's a very little chance for
Y'all
skill
have
base
this
to really
conversation up
win.
there. My mic is picking you guys up. And then that's going to be the ultimate line. HBK is going to find the first kill. Another kill is going to go over to Idris. And a really fast fight, as that's kind of be Soul just picked up 3-for-3.
Hello?
Oh, there we go. We're going through some technical difficulties.
All right, there we are. And that is Soul for skill base, and that's going to be a huge power spike over. And I'm not sure if we're going to have an avenue back into this game for skill base here, because HBK with that Ocean Soul are going to be really hard to deal with.
Yeah, HBK, 22 minutes in, having the Soul. Also, Baron's going to be starting to get hit. And they should be able to take this quite quickly with Vayne with 2 items. So, yeah, this is not getting any easier. And if the closeout could be coming quite quickly, and that's a perfect teamfight execution is going to come over from the side of skill.
Oh, Pro Loophole just going to play interference here. And Jita's going to make sure that Fridge is not getting a chance to get away.
Yeah, he's trapped by the X8 ultimatum, and he will be dropping. So another pick found onto this Volibear, who hasn't really found his end into the game just yet. 0-4, no avenues. And now this is a bunch of gold that could just be going over. Idris is going to be going in and forced to ultimate out probably soon as the Polymorph was allowed a bunch of damage to come in.
Oh, good hook from Pro Loophole.
Yep, the wall dive isn't going to land. The Charmer's going to land onto Jada, but he's going to be forced to walk away as the ultimate from the Orange is going to separate out the fight as another hook is going to be landing.
Yeah, we really do got these heat-seeking hooks at this point. And unfortunately for HBK, Death Charge wasn't quite available just yet. But imagine just how much more scary this Nautilus gets when that Depth Charge is available. And we've got the Stirring Wardstone on the side of HBK as well. So that vision control is going to get ridiculous at this point.
Stirring Wards, I have no idea what that item does. I'm actually reading it now.
It increases the amount of control wards that you can hold, and it also increases the amount of wards you can put on the map. Now you can have 4 normal wards and 2 control wards active at the same time.
Okay. I wonder why people don't use it.
Of course, that only kicks in once you hit level 13, so Pro Loophole sitting at level 11. Not in the greatest of spots just yet. Once that Vigilant Wardstone is online, though, that's going to be ridiculous.
That explains it.
Oh, Fridge getting caught out here. Depth Charge online. All right, gonna use that to get out, but they're still going to continue to push down the spot lane. Oh my god!
Please will take a bunch of damage, but it's going to be HBK getting stunned up, forced to dash back. Fridge is also going to be forced to go away, as there is much follow-up at the moment.
Yeah, I know HBK is named HBK and has the name of the team on their back, but honestly, Pro Loophole's hooks seem so much more iconic at this point because, dear lord, we just see them everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. The tag team is going to be available. Baron is still here, so now this inhibitor is going to be getting seized up. The fight is probably not going to occur for the moment as the wave clear is going to be available, but it looks like that is going to be the avenue HBK is looking to set up.
Alright, Zishan getting engaged on here by Jita.
Taking some tower shots. Jita took a bunch of damage. The Archonship is going to be available soon, but the last combo isn't going to land, so the follow-up is not going to be there.
Yeah, and Jita, oh wow, it's going to dive right in.
And Kevin's just going to take a bunch of damage from this LeBlanc on the back end, almost dropping instantly. And that tower is taking a beating. So many minions, and it looks like they still aren't going to be able to take it.
Yeah, and H Block are still going to continue to push this down. That Ocean Soul is coming in so clutch. Well, it's going to back off, reset. They've got a lot of gold in their pockets, I'm sure.
Yeah, 2 minutes before Elder also, and giving that over at any point of the game could be game ending. So they're going to try to secure that with the advantage that they do have. This is a 10,000 gold lead, so they are definitely not going to be pressured too hard. As that Ocean Soul is going to allow, you're just going to get into the face of Rorschach. The ultimate is still going to be available to dodge this horn. But he's just going to dodge it anyway. Beautiful sidestep, a bunch of damage onto Rorschach, who's not going to be able to survive this Echo as Idris is going to come in to pick it up. The fight is still occurring as that is going to be the force out from Jitta, as the spot side is also getting sieged down. So H-Block finding advantages on both sides of the map.
H-Block making a huge amount of pressure with this lead here. And Deracles trying to do what he can, but there's just so little at this point. H-Block kind of just walking up and smacking them with their wallets.
Yeah, with a 4v5 on the map and no real advantage. As Depth Charge is going to be landing onto Theocles, and the hook is going to be on to one flick bridge. The ultimate has been popped from Flornolis. He's going to be going in trying to find as many auto attacks as they can. Theocles is going to be dropping a bunch of damage before Zonies is forced out, as Fridge is going to drop. Now Theocles is going to drop to the auto attack. Good spacing from the side of Floro, picking up 2 kills, and the teleport is here, so this should be the game-ending push. As now Kevin is going to be forced to flash away, and that is going to leave Rorschach all by himself, as he's going to be getting too much damage on the top. H-Block is going to become unstoppable, as Kevin is also going to drop, and that's going to be everyone falling. As a clean sweep, as H-Block is going to dash in but not die to the laser. And even with the BM, that's going to be them picking up their 3rd win of the series.
Yeah, and H-Block looking strong, looking clean, looking very solid. Gonna take this over skill base.
Yeah, clean game, 28 minutes on the clock. Really fast win. Good application of skill. They never really were behind, so they managed to have 3 players who went deathless. So fantastic play from the side of H-Block.
Yeah, and as you can see, Zishan going to be pumping out a lot of that damage on the Ezreal, because Ezreal going to be able to be safe, going to be able to do a lot of that damage from an arm's distance. But H-Block have a much more even spread of damage across their team, because you see that all of their members are doing that damage together and are making sure to output as much as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And while that is the conclusion of the broadcast for the casters, so don't stick around, because we still have an interview coming up to see how the victorious H-Block feels. And that will be it for me and Anti. Thank you for watching, and make sure you guys pay attention to what this interview is going to be having in store for us.
Chasing dreams, ain't got time to make them see what we believe. 藤木玄介湖岸流大魔プロ術許しを得たのがその翌日。
Hello everyone, Chris Edgeworth here for tonight's final interview, and I am joined by Pro Loople from the victorious Team H-Block. How are you feeling after the win?
Great. It was clean game from everyone in our team, so I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, all of you folks had, you had KDAs that were divided by 1, except for your dirty inting top laner. So, we take those. Let's talk about the draft that you folks had. You yourself were on the Nautilus in this one with the spicy Vayne matchup bottom as well. And then you had the matchup that we were seeing just a game ago with the Ari, I'm getting things mixed up here. Sorry. But the Ari and the LeBlanc matchup, I was interested in that one as well. Plus, we're seeing the special Echo that is back in the jungle rotation now that he got some Riot free low buffs for people
definitely.
in solo queues. So what are your thoughts on what you folks deployed here in this draft and what you were up against?
For Perkins, we saw how they play a lot through their bot being their main carry and having a lot of tanks and CC around them. So we just knew we kind of needed a bit more of a dive comp to really just shut down the Ezreal early on, so before the tanks really became tanky. It was good that it was really nice that we had also the Vayne open. For the past 4 games, Vayne was banned out for our ADC. So seeing that and then seeing the Ornn, it was kind of easy pickings for picking Vayne. So it doesn't get banned out the second rotation. And then the Echo wasn't banned first rotation too, so we kind of picked it up knowing that it can go both mid and jungle. That was pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah, sounds like you folks had a good handle on both what you wanted and what you were willing to pick based on where it was at in the rotation and what you felt you could get away with. So good decision making. We like to hear that kind of preparation for these organized play matches here in the Luna League. So let's talk about a little bit more team play as we start the game off. You folks were in the 5-man death ball, and you immediately launch into the flash hook. Talk to us about that level 1 play.
That's a play I saw in LCS. It worked out pretty well. We got the jungler flash, so it made it so both solo laners and also us bot laners, we wouldn't be too scared of the level 3 ball we are running up to stun you, burning your own flash. So it's just I rather burn my own flash because I attack sec flash for the jungler's flash, or possibly if it was the mid laner. So it was just a fun play to make to get our energies up.
And where in this game do you think it was decisively in your folks' hand? Was it the mental gap at level 1, or was it some other time in the game where you think it just really escalated?
It was really nice that we got level 1 bot kill. How the Lulu kind of walked up a bit too early. It was pretty funny because usually when I engage with my ADC, we don't have comms. I usually just go in and then he goes in as well. So I got to work on that, but he kind of is on the same page as me and as well as my team. So it worked out well for this game. And the biggest turning point, I think, was when they try to rotate their bot lane and support top lane. We kind of let me and the Camille stay top for a bit. And then when our jungler was close, we said, okay, the Ezreal will just get locked down by all 3 of us. So we're saying we should just fight here on the wave. And I think that was the huge turning point where no one could really side lane against the Camille afterwards.
True. That and then this team, for your team, I should say, it really did seem to get off the rails after a certain point. You folks were pretty much just see hero, kill hero. You were able to get what I would consider a luxury buy, and I wanted to get your take on this. So you have the upgradable ward stone for the control wards that has been implemented, I think this season. And just want to get your thoughts on it because it's an item that's piqued my interest as a support main. It has that upgrade, I believe, that as they're talking about it, like increases your ward capacity, but it also like is like a mini like Rabadon's type thing if I'm remembering correctly too when you get the upgrade. So can you take me some insight on why for this item? Was it just flex or what's your thoughts?
So why I bought it was really because I just had the perfect amount of money for it. I had 1,200 gold, so it was enough for the item and also to buy for a pink ward. So I bought that. But the item actually only upgrades when you're level 13 as a support, and like there's like a side mission where you place like 40 wards or something like that. So that would eventually happen as you're playing support. It's generally really good because it has like all the stats that really a support needs. It has health and it has like CDR, and it just lets you place more pink wards. And I think in a competitive setting, if you can buy it, it's a good buy, unless like you really need a McHale's or something like that for your team. But overall, I didn't need to be that tanky, so just having more vision helped the team out a lot more.
And as I take a moment to hopefully, can I paste this? Aha! Okay, I copied that from another scene. So yeah, just so folks are aware of what we're talking about here, this item is something that it does give you the base stats, and as you're saying, you didn't hit level 13. There's something we noticed in the game. We're like, oh, cool! We were calling out like, oh, he's got the item. Yes, oh, it's so sick. And then we're like, wait, why? It's not upgraded. Oh, he's still level 11. Oh, he's a support. Oh yeah, that's right. And then so folks, you can see here it increases your stealth wards and control wards by 1, but it also gives 12% to bonus health, bonus AD, AP, and ability haste. So support's getting some cracked items now. Finally, thank you, Based Rito. Do you have anything else that you want to say on this topic, or let's move on maybe to talking about HBK? Going forward now, you folks even out here at the 3-3 after this game. So we're wondering just what are your thoughts on the strength of your team so far, and where do you see your folks going forward?
I see our team just like if we can play to our strengths, we really can just like climb through the top of the rankings, and we can like match up against anyone, even though it doesn't show in our past 2 games. It was just really an off day for all of us, so I think we're still stronger individually, and as a team we're getting there. Overall, for the whole being 3-3, we could have been 6-0, and I think we can still make an upset for the whole league, so I think we can win.
And we'll be looking forward to seeing your next set of games then, if you can topple what may on paper look like the top teams, but what you're saying are some very vulnerable kings left to be toppled. So we'll be interested to see how you folks play that out for Team H Block. And Prolupal, before you go, any final thoughts you'd like to leave with us? Any banter, any shoutouts?
Thanks my team for playing this league with me, and then everyone who's just like helping us with drafting and just like VOD reviewing, especially Hayat. And then hopefully we can get some more dubs in the next few weeks. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thanks again for this interview, Prolupal. And folks, that's going to be it for us here for tonight's broadcast. Our final game of the day was, in fact, a forfeit by Team Asorth against, or giving the win, I should say, to the Serenity Senate. So they'll be picking up the win for that final game. Folks, that's it for today, but we'll be back with you again on Thursday with our first day for week 4 of Helios. So please join us then. We're planning on 4:30 Pacific Standard Time, subject to change, as always, here at Friend or Foe, but we'll try and make it a 4:30 angle if we can. So, folks, have a wonderful night, and we'll see you again soon. Be well.
Bye.